And now you know why this is the top 12 worst holiday movies and not the top 12 worst Christmas movies. Oh yes, I'm aware that 8 Crazy Nights is a lot more competently made than the schlock we've seen in the past several entries, but I think this placement here is justified. I hate this movie. It's one of the worst animated movies ever made that isn't a bootleg ripoff, and it's one of the worst things Adam Sandler has ever put his name on, and considering the absolute garbage he's been in, that's saying a hell of a lot. I suppose I should start by talking about the film's one redeeming quality, the animation. The previous 3 animated movies on this list all look grotesque and horrid, but not 8 Crazy Nights. This movie has good animation, most of the time, done by the same studio behind The Iron Giant. And yet, I actually think this works against the film, because the Iron Giant-esque visuals completely clash with the tone in a way that I do not think it was intentional. How am I supposed to enjoy the pretty color palette and fluid movement if I hate everything that happens in these scenes? Oh yeah, and I do mean everything. Let's break it all down. Adam Sandler plays Davey, a terrible person who is arrested for not paying Rob Schneider racist stereotype number 23 for a meal, so now he has to live with an elderly basketball coach named Whitey, voiced by... oh gee, who do you think? Sandler actually does triple duty here, voicing Davey, Whitey, and Whitey's sister Eleanor, and it's just as aggravating to listen to as you would expect. Whitey is like the only kind of likable character in the movie since he takes Davey in and genuinely tries to help him turn his life around, but his voice is just so annoying to listen to that you want to strangle him every time he opens his mouth. And as for Davey, well, you're not going to believe this, but he is somehow even worse than Jake from I'll Be Home for Christmas. At least with Jake you can make the argument that he's a total dumbass who doesn't think before he acts. Davey knowingly commits crimes and acts like a total jerk to everybody just because he can. And, you know, that might be okay in another movie. There are plenty of works out there with despicable main characters that the audience can enjoy watching, or at least love hating. But Davey isn't a character the audience is supposed to hate, because like the movie, out of nowhere, decides to give him a tragic backstory where his parents died when he was a kid. As if that's supposed to justify him being the worst person ever. Oh, and as for the humor? Well, I struggle to even call it humor. This is some of the most juvenile stuff I've ever seen. Like the scene where Whitey gets stuck in a porta potty and Davey shoves him down a hill and then freezes him to the crap for the reindeer to lick him out. Yeah, that's a thing that happens in this movie, is the worst example. Other things like Davey humping a car and needlessly insulting this overweight kid, and the stuff with all the product placements come to life. Yeah, that happens too. That stuff has me reaching for the nearest sharp object. The other bad comedies here just made me groan, but the humor, in the biggest air quotes possible, of 8 Crazy Nights is positively excruciating. And that's why the pretty animation doesn't work, because the dissonance between the visuals and comedy doesn't add to either, it only subtracts. If 8 Crazy Nights had Family Guy-esque visuals, I mean, I'd still hate it, but at least it would fit better. Also, for a movie set during Hannukah, there's not really much of the holiday in the movie, aside from, I guess, the story taking place over 8 nights, hence the title, as well as Davey finding a Hannukah card from his dead parents and leading everyone in a Jewish dance at the end. I don't know much about Hannukah, so maybe there's stuff in here that I didn't get, but I was pretty disappointed that there wasn't much more of it. Like, the more I watch this movie, the more I feel sorry for, like, Jewish people that this is one of the only Hannukah movies out there. Like, you guys deserve so much better movies than this garbage. So basically, if there's anything to take away from this video, please, 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 please make more Hannukah movies, not only to get good movies made about an important holiday, but also to wipe the stain of 8 Crazy Nights off of it. And we haven't even reached the bottom of the barrel for holiday movies yet. That comes tomorrow.